Hello, welcome to Soul Stretch, the online edition. My name is Dana, and I'm the yoga instructor for the Soul Stretch class for the Holistic Center. And I'm so happy to offer another class for you. Today, we're going to be doing some light stretching, of course, starting with a meditation, and then moving into a spine mobility series. And this way you're just working through your spine, and because a lot of us are sitting in our chairs all day on laptops, and so that can sometimes cause some stiffness in the spine. So in this particular class, we're going to be working through all of that. But first, we're going to find a comfortable seat. As you know, I like to sit on a bolster or a pillow just to help elevate my hips. And then we're going to settle in. So once you find your comfortable seat, we're going to begin to slow our breathing. Just settling into our bodies. Allow your shoulders to fall away from your ears. Allow any tension from your face to melt away. And begin to get each inhale to reach deeper and deeper into your belly as you begin to relax. You can breathe out of your nose or out of your mouth, whichever is most comfortable for you. Inhale and get that breath to reach as deep down into your belly as possible. And when your belly feels full, get that breath to reach into your side body, into your ribs, and then into your chest. Let's pause for a moment at the top. And on your exhale, release the breath from your chest, from your ribs, and then from your belly. Let's do that again. Breathe into your belly, into your ribs, and then into your chest. Pause. Out of your chest, out of your ribs, and then out of your belly. Let's do that a couple more times at your own pace, to your own breath. Take another breath here. And now that we feel nice and relaxed, we're going to move into an all fours position. Any props that you have, you can just move out of the way. So coming into all fours, which is our tabletop position, our knees are going to be underneath our hips, Our hands are going to be underneath our shoulders. All joints are stacked. We're having a nice neutral spine in this position for now. Let's take a few cleansing breaths here. And on our inhale, we're going to drop the belly, roll the shoulders back, lift the head into our cow. And on our exhale, we're going to push into the ground, round up through the shoulders, really tucking the tailbone, exhaling into our cat. Inhaling back into our cow. And exhaling back into our cow. Inhale. And exhale. Let's do a couple more rounds at our own pace, to our own breath. And on our next inhale, we're going to come to a nice neutral spine. Making sure our joints are stacked. And then we're going to elongate the right leg, keeping the toes on the floor, and just pushing back to get a nice stretch in that calf. You can rock forward. This is also getting a nice stretch in the foot. If you have plantar fasciitis, this is a good stretch too, because you're really stretching out that foot muscle. And on your next inhale, we're going to lift the right leg and then bring it over to our left, creating a nice stretch in that right side body. And if it feels good for you, we're going to peek over our left shoulder at that foot. Really creating a nice deep stretch. Exhale when you get there. On your inhale, we're going to bring that right leg back. Knee is back in its original position and we're back in tabletop. Coming back to a neutral spine. Take a few cleansing breaths here. And elongate that left leg, keeping the toes on the ground, stretching back and forth, really opening up that calf muscle. When you're ready, we're going to inhale, lift that left leg and bring it over to our right, peeking over our right shoulder at that foot and exhaling into this stretch. This should feel good. Remember, we don't want to push to the point of any pain. Stretching always feels a little uncomfortable. You want to go to your edge, but you don't want to go any further. And on your inhale, coming back into tabletop position. From here, we're going to inhale, sit back on our knees, and lie forward into our child's pose. So if you find that your hips come up off of your heels when you're in child's pose, you can use whatever props that you have, whether it's a towel, a pillow, blanket, roll it up in between, and you can place it in between your hips and your heels. That way you're creating a little bit of cushion so that your hips can sit back onto your heels. Stretching those fingertips forward. Allowing your forehead to reach towards the mat. Exhaling into the stretch. And on your next inhale, we are going to bring our left hand over to our right. You can maybe move both hands a little further over. This is going to create a nice stretch in the left side body. And we're keeping our forehead on the mat. Continue to breathe here. And on your next inhale, we are going to move over to our left, bringing the right hand over top of the left, creating a stretch in the right side body now. Exhaling with our forehead on the mat. Inhale, we'll be coming back into our tabletop position. And before we move into our standing series, we'll do a few more cat-cows here. So inhale, dropping the belly. Exhale, rounding through the shoulders. Coming back to a nice neutral spine, we are going to find our way into our mountain pose. So in mountain pose, we're just standing. Feet are firmly on the ground. Legs are nice and strong here. Shoulders are rolled back. Core is engaged. The goal here is to be firmly planted. Continue to breathe. And let's start by rolling our shoulders, bringing them up towards the ears, and then rolling them back and allowing them to just relax. Let's do that again, rolling them forward up towards the ears, down, back. Let's inhale going the opposite direction. Rolling up towards the ears, down towards the front of our body, and back. One more time. Really just loosening up the shoulders, releasing any tension that you may have. I'm going to turn this way just so that you can get a better visual of the next pose that we're going to be doing. So from our mountain pose, we're going to inhale, reach our hands up overhead, drawing our hands towards the heart space, hinging from the hips. You can bend your knees a lot here. Actually, I suggest that you do. And just allow the upper body to just hang. This is a forward fold. But I love to bend the knees a lot here so that the upper body can just relax on your thighs. Allow your head to just hang. Maybe nod, shake your head back and forth. And exhale.
I like to sometimes place my hands underneath my feet and try to just stretch the legs out as much as possible. It's really opening up the shoulder blades. But staying here feels just as good. On your next inhale, we are going to root to rise, which means planting the feet firmly on the mat. Reaching up towards the sky, coming up one vertebrae at a time. Reaching the hands up overhead. Drawing our hands back to our heart space. Exhale. Coming back into our mountain pose, we're going to reach our hands up overhead once again. Inhale. Drawing them towards the heart space, hinging from the hips once again into our forward fold, bending the knees, allowing the upper body to just hang. Find what feels good here. You can stretch one leg out. That feels good for you. And moving to the other. Really just find what works well for your body. We're going to root to rise, once again planting the feet firmly into our mat, reaching up overhead, drawing the hands to our heart space once again. Coming back into our mountain pose. On your next inhale, reach the arms up overhead again. This is the last time, drawing the hands to the heart space, hinging from the hips into our forward fold. Find what feels good for you in this forward fold, but exhale as much as you can to release any tension. Inhale once again, bringing the arms up overhead, drawing them to the heart space. Coming back into our mountain pose. From here, we are going to come back to our mats. Just to get a little bit of core exercise into this short flow, we're going to keep our feet planted on the mat, knees are bent, and we're just going to roll back one vertebrae at a time, using the core as much as possible to get us there. If you shake, that's okay. That just means you're working. And come back with your back flat on the mat. From here, we're going to draw the knees in towards the chest. Giving ourselves a big hug. You could bring the head towards the knees if that feels good for you.
Where you guys gonna sit?
Once again, hugging in, exhaling. And coming back with the shoulder blades flat on your mat. You can take a moment to find whatever feels good for you in this moment before we head to our final resting pose. I like to round out through the hips, doing some circles with my knees bent. little last moment movements that your body may be asking for. And when you feel ready, you can bring your legs out in front of you and come into your Shavasana, into your corpse pose. Closing your eyes, allowing any tension that may be left in your body to just melt away. You can do a quick body scan. Do your feet, up your legs, into your core, into your arms, fingers, releasing your shoulders into the mat, releasing any tension you may have in your jaw, and then your forehead and behind your eyes. Begin to bring some movement back to your body. Maybe wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. And when you're ready, you can roll to one side into a fetal position and just rest here for a moment. And when you're ready, you can come back up to your seated position. Hopefully feeling more relaxed. Hopefully feeling a little more open. I just want to take a moment to thank you for joining me in this class today. Thank you for taking time to care for yourself and to join in on some movement. It is super important, even if it's just 5 minutes a day. So I just want to take a moment to honor that and to honor you. And in traditional classes, we often end class by saying, the light in me recognizes the light in you. Namaste.